Let's get started. Now, before I get started, if I'm meeting, there's actually quite a few names that I'm seeing for the first time. Quite a few people that I'm meeting for the first time, which is awesome. Welcome to the call. If I am meeting you for the first time, my name is Drew McDermott. I've got a long story, which I won't get into tonight, but Near Life has been a part of my life for a long, long time. Rory and Nola, my mother and father, became distributors 52 years ago. So I grew up with the Near Life business. I built my own distributorship, and I now play a role with the company in the position of Vice President of Field Development and Marketing for Near Life Southern and East Africa. And if you're just logging on, the purpose of tonight's call is a getting started distributor training. So I'm really going to roll up our sleeves here tonight and get down to some basics. And the chat box is open. I really would like it to be interactive. If you have questions, please feel free to either unmute yourself and ask a question or put a question in the chat box. I'll keep an eye on the chat box. I'm going to be asking you questions, and I'd like you to either respond verbally or to put your response in the chat box. But let's make it a little bit interactive. I need to know that you are with me and that we are doing this together. So let's start. Being a Near Life distributor, there's a lot of different events that you're going to be a part of. Most of the meetings that you will attend, whether it's online or physical, will be what we call product and opportunity presentations, where we share the product basics with people and we share the power of the opportunity. And these events are designed to help you sponsor people into your business and to find customers. But then you're also going to have training events, like getting started trainings, manager trainings, senior manager trainings, director schools. And these are what we call development events. And one of the most important parts of your Near Life journey is personal development. And that involves mental growth, spiritual growth, but also involves growing and upskilling yourself in the business. And so this is one of these events. And a lot of the stuff in our business is repetitive. And I had to learn about why is so much of it repetitive? Because duplication is one of the key aspects of your business. You have to learn how to grow your business and learn the basics. And then, one of the activities is sponsoring new people into your business, and you have to be able to teach them. And when they sponsor people, they have to teach their downline. And so, yes, you're going to hear a lot of repetition in this Near Life journey. But there's a little saying, never miss a learning and a growing opportunity. And what I can promise you is every event you attend, you're going to hear something new. You're going to learn something new. You might hear a new story, but every event that you attend will grow you in some way. And that's the goal of tonight's session. I'm going to share my screen. I've got a few slides which I'm going to run through to keep me on track here. So I'm going to keep it quite fast. I'm going to keep it moving quite fast, and I don't know how much of this I'm going to get through. But your business, your journey needs to start with your why. Why did you join? And this is something that I learned from Nola, actually, at one of the last meetings I did with in Johannesburg. She says, why? What does it stand for? What hurts you? And a lot of people listen to the Near Life opportunity and they say, yes, I want to be a part of this because they're going through something in their life, or they have a pain point or a financial need that they want to address. And so the chat box is open. I'd love to know, why did you join? Why did you start your Near Life journey? What is your reason for building your business? Do you know what that is? And it's very important that we have a reason. And so feel free to just put your reasons in the chat box. What is your goal for your business? Why are you building your business? What do you want to achieve? And your goal is very, very important, knowing what you're working towards, because it kind of is your North Star. And it's like getting in a motor car. If you get in the car and you just drive and you've got nowhere specific to go, where are you going to end up? You don't know. But if you get into your motor car and you know, I'm taking the kids to school, or I'm going to the Drakensberg, you get in your car and you follow a road map, you follow the road to get you where you need to go. And that's kind of your goal. And it's important that this goal is crystal crystal clear in your mind and in your heart, because your journey is going to require work. And sometimes you won't feel like doing the work. And if you don't have a strong and motivating goal, then you won't do the work. And one of the key reasons why I was building my near life business is because I had a young family. And man, I wanted to give my wife and my kids a great life, not a good life, a great life. And I knew that was up to me if that was going to be achieved. And so sometimes I didn't feel like getting up and doing the work of talking to people. But you know what? I did it anyway. And your success in your life doesn't care how you feel, it cares about the work that you do. So is your goal motivating to you? Number one. And I'm just reading thank you, Gavin. Okay, so Gavin joins. He joined because I love Gavin's reason. He shared this with me at a meeting the other day. To be able to visit my kids overseas whenever I want to. That's such a strong reason. And that's the goal. That goal requires money. And the good thing is your near life business can give you that money. Mike and Angelique, we joined. Sorry, my screen skipped there. Okay, your son is in New Zealand. Okay, that is great. Drew, we joined firstly because we were blessed by a sponsor believing in us. Our goal is to settle our debt and invest in properties. Fantastic. Great goal. Morale, to have something to fall back on after retirement, ensuring interaction with people after retirement. So strong. Okay, so these are all really good reasons. And these reasons, why I love these reasons, because they are motivating. They're strong. In your morale, in your journey to achieving that, you're going to have some disappointments. Man, people will let you down. And unfortunately, as wonderful as your sponsor cannot protect you from that. It's something that you're going to have to go through. And if your goal is strong enough, guess what? You will remain on track. If it's not strong enough, you'll quit. It's as simple as that. And your goal needs to be exciting enough. And what do I mean by exciting enough? I think this is going to make sense later on in this training. To succeed in this business, you are required to build a team of other distributors. And if your goal is exciting, if you're talking about an exciting future, that is attractive to other people. Right now, too many people are living lives of fear, of desperation, and they can't see an exciting future. Now, if you become the shining light and say, I'm excited because I'm building a business that is going to allow me to go and visit my kids overseas whenever I want. The next trip I'm taking is to visit my son in New Zealand. I'm excited because I'm building a business that is getting me out of debt and giving me enough cash flow to start investing in property. I'm excited because I'm building a business that is going to give me a life after retirement. It's going to give me freedom to do the things that I want to do with the people that I love after retirement. That's speaking an exciting future. And when you talk about an exciting future, people go, wow, this person is onto something. Let me lean in and find out what they're doing. And that is the start of building a team. I hope this is making sense. If it's not, you know what to do. Message me. Okay, there's a lot of goals that have come in. Yvonne, finances and get back on my feet. Great. Joanna, to be able to help people who are in trouble and give money to my church. Wow. Okay. And you got a goal to get back to university. Fantastic. Awesome. Okay. So know your goal. And if you're not clear on your goal, that's the first piece of homework. Write it down. I'd like you to communicate your goal to yourself firstly tonight, and then reach out to your sponsor and say, this is why I'm building my business. Please hold me accountable. Please hold me accountable to that goal. The second thing is, if you have a goal, you need to learn how to master the compensation plan. And this is where I'd say 99% of distributors never fully understand the power of the compensation plan. On this call, one of my greatest goals is to show you that we are more than just a product selling business. And the products are a big part of what we do. And you got to fall in love with the products. And a natural next step to that is finding people who need your products and going out and saying, I've got a solution for you, and selling some products and building a customer base. That is an important part of the business. But that is just a little drop of what the compensation plan can do for you. There are areas of income that you're going to have to master for you to achieve the goals that you've communicated to me. And the first area of income is the retail profit from the product that you sell to your customers. And you'll see in your price list, you have a distributor cost price. You buy it at that price and you sell it at a retail price. That is your profit. And something I was taught from a very early age and in my near life journey is protect your profit with your life. If you sell a box of Pro Vitality and you make your profit, don't go and buy bread and milk with the money on the way home. Keep that money. Put the profit to the side and keep the distributor cost price and reinvest it back into your business. Because if you go and buy a product for 500 Rand, you sell it for 600 Rand, and then you go home and you buy the groceries with that 600 Rand, then you have wiped out your cash flow. So make sure that you manage your money starting with your retail profit. And money management or lack of money management is probably one of the key reasons people fail in this business early on. Number two, sales volume bonus. Over and above your retail profit, you can earn between 3 to 25% on everything that happens in your team, right? And there's a little saying, build a business so that when you go to sleep, you can continue to make money. Build a business so that when you are at work during the day, your near life business is still paying you money. And that is the benefit of network marketing, is you can get paid on the efforts of other people. And there's a little saying, I'd rather earn 1% off the efforts of 100 people than 100% off my own efforts. And that's the beautiful thing about this business, is you can leverage your time and you can earn in a very fair manner off other people. And I'll show you how it works in a moment. And once you become director and you start maximizing your sales volume bonus, that is where you unlock the third level of income, which is the leadership development bonus. That is when you become a director and you have the ability to start creating other directors in your organization. You add a third area of income. And the beautiful thing about leadership development bonus, this area of income is going to pay you more than sales volume bonus and retail profit put together. So as you start unlocking these areas of income, you'll start earning more money. So how does the sales volume bonus work? And on I think it's page 6 in your compensation plan guide, which you would have got in your starter kit, or you can go onto your back office, into your resource library and download it. I've just taken a screenshot from page 6. This is what we call the sales volume bonus chart, often referred to as SVB. And this is the distributor rank, and this is your total monthly QPV. And this is the percentage you're going to earn off it. And starting from the bottom, if your business does 250 points, you'll earn a 3% sales volume bonus. Now that sales volume bonus, what is the 3% paid on? It's not paid on your PV. It's paid on the business volume, that BV column that you see in your price list. Remember, in your price list, you have your DP, your distributor price. You have your SRP, your suggested retail price. And then there's a column that is called BV, or business volume. The percentage is paid on the business volume. If you do 500 points, your business volume moves up to, your sales volume bonus moves to 5%, 1,000 points, 10%, and it's on a sliding scale all the way up to 4,000 points, where you maximize your sales volume bonus at 25%. So let's do a little working exercise here. This is on page 11 of your compensation plan guide. So it hasn't come out that clear. But let's say this is you've built a business that does 4,000 points, because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 distributors. One of them is doing 2,000 points. The other one is doing 1,000. So that's 3,500, 3,800, 3,900 plus your own 100 PV. That's a 4,000 point business. A 4,000 point business means that you earn 25% sales volume bonus. Now let's look at how this is structured. Your 5 distributors. Distributor number 1 does 100 points. What is the percent of sales volume bonus they will earn? Do we know? If we look at the sales volume bonus chart, they've done 100 points. They will not earn a sales volume bonus. Trick question. Because they have done less than 250 points, so they do not qualify for that second area of income. Distributor number 2 has done 300 QPV, so their sales volume bonus is going to be 3% because they've done over 250, they've done less than 500, so they're going to qualify for 3%. Distributor number 3 has done 500 points, so they'll qualify for 5%. Distributor 4,000 points. Oh, look at that. 1,000 points. They have unlocked 10% sales volume bonus. So on every product that is sold within their organization and used within the organization, they're going to earn 10% on their sales volume bonus of their product. That's a good deal, right? Distributor number 6, they have done 2,000 points, so they qualify for a 15% sales volume bonus. Right. Okay, I hope that's simple. The beautiful thing is you don't have to calculate this. This all gets calculated, but it's important for you to know because what would happen if this distributor did 999 points? They would halve their sales volume bonus. They would only qualify for 5%. And so it's important to know where you are in the sales volume bonus chart because we want you to maximize your income. And if you are nearly pushing 1,000 points, we're saying get to 1,000 points so you double your sales volume bonus from 5% to 10%. Now, what will you earn on these people on your team? Remember, you've unlocked 25%, so you'll earn 25% on anything that you use and anything that you sell. But on distributor 1, they earn 0%, so you'll earn the full 25% on that distributor leg. Leg number 2, they've earned 3%. So 25% is in the pot. They've taken 3% out of the pot. So now you're eligible to 22%. Hope that makes sense. You're eligible to 25%. They've taken 3% of the 25, so you earn the remaining 22%. Distributor number 3, you're eligible for 25%. They've taken 5% out of the pot. What will you earn on this distributorship? Does anyone know? So you will earn 20%. You got it. Okay, great. You'll earn 20%. Yep. And then distributor number 4, eligible for 25%. They're going to take 10% out the pot. They'll earn 15%. And number 6, they're eligible for 15% because they're doing 2,000 points. And so you'll earn 10% on that leg. That is how the sales volume bonus structure works. And so it's very important that you get to the director position so you can maximize your sales volume bonus and you can earn on anybody within your team. Now, what happens when you have a distributor who also does 4,000 points and is eligible for the full 25%? Can you see there's no scope to earn sales volume bonus on that because they take the full 25% out the pot. That is where the beautiful thing of leadership development bonus kicks in, and you earn between 4 to 6% on any director legs 3 levels deep. Okay, I won't go further into leadership development bonus, but that can become a very, very lucrative form of income. So the important thing is for you to get to the director position because that is where put yourself in a position to earn all different areas of income. And in our compensation plan, we've basically given you a roadmap that says, okay, if you go from distributor to director, it doesn't happen in one big step. There are little checkpoints along the way. And if you just follow your nose, follow the next step in front of you, you'll eventually end up at director position. And so I don't know where everyone is on the call right now, but I'm going to assume that everybody is at distributor position. Your next position is to become a manager. And I want you to go and have a look at your compensation plan guide tonight, and it will tell you how to become a manager. And it's super simple. To become a manager, you got to do 500 points. As you can see here, 500 points. Do you have to do you have to do 500 points on your own? No. You can do 100 points, okay, minimum 100 points, and then you can build a team of other distributors And between your points and your distributor's points, your team's points, as long as you do 500 points, you'll become a manager, eligible for 3%. Sorry, 5%. Oh, sorry, that is actually incorrect. Yeah, that must get fixed. Um, what if you did 250 points and you had one distributor that did 250 points? That would be a manager business. Okay, so understand what your next step is. And your next step is the most important step. And as a team, I really want to encourage us not to sit at our current title. There's two things that need to happen. If you are a manager, you need to make sure that you qualify as a manager every month. If you're a senior manager, ensure that you are consistent at senior manager title every month, because as a senior manager who does 1,000 points, you're eligible for 10%. If you don't do 1,000 points, you're not going to earn the 10%, you'll earn the 5% or the 3%. So qualifying a title every month is a very important thing, number one, but always be building your business and working to taking your next step. Because when you're always working to taking your next step, you set the example for those in your team to follow. The definition of success in our business is super, super simple. And I really want you to let this one sink in. It's a large team of people consistently committing to a few simple activities every single month. That's the definition of success. You don't succeed on your own in your life. In your life, you succeed when you develop a team, a large team of people consistently committing to a few simple activities every single month. That's the definition of success. So what are these simple activities? The simple activities are, number one, 100 points. And I hope you are sick and tired of hearing this already, because you're going to hear this all the time. As a near-life distributor who's building the business, every month you have to do 100 points. If you don't do 100 points, the compensation plan will not pay you, right? This is the minimum requirement in the compensation plan. And it's a very easy job to do, because 100 points looks something like this. It's 3 bottles of Trenin. A big bottle of Trenin is 34 points. So if you used one in your family and you sold 2, you would do 100 points. So if there's anybody in your team not doing 100 points on a monthly basis, it tells you 2 things. It tells you, number one, they're probably not using the product, which is an issue. And number 2, they're probably not talking to anybody about the product because they're not building a customer base. And so through the products that you use and the products that you sell to your customers, you need to do 100 points every single month. And I'm going to ask you to hold yourself accountable to that every month. Hold yourself accountable to that every month, because it's if you're not doing it, you cannot expect anybody in your team to be doing it. It's as simple as that. And it doesn't have to be training. It can be home care. It can be skincare. It can be the weight loss products. It can be the kids' nutrition. Every product has a PV value, and so you've got to make sure that 100 points is moving through your organization through the point of the products that you use and the products that you sell to your customers. That's the first activity. The second activity is you have to be sponsoring every month. Every month you have to personally be sponsoring. Okay, I see Joanna's raised her hand. Let me know if you have a question. Feel free to ask it in the chat box. Unmute yourself, Joanna. The second action is you have to be sponsoring every single month. And I like to encourage people to run for their 3 and 30. That is when you sponsor 3 people on a monthly basis who each do 100 points, and you obviously do your 100 points. Why do I like the 3 and 30? Because we really see this 3 and 30 activating growth in people's organizations. For a simple reason. If you're aiming to sponsor 1 person in a month, there's a good chance that that won't happen, because you're going to talk to 2, 3, 4 people. But if you're aiming to sponsor 3, you're going to increase the amount of people that you talk to. It naturally happens. Let me just have a look at the chat box. Okay, Joanna, how do we accumulate PVs, QPVs? Okay, great question. So I'm just going to go back a second. Okay, so Joanna, every product has a PV value. PV stands for point value. Okay, so let's take a bottle of Trenin. I'm going to go back a slide here. This bottle of training is worth 34 points. Okay, PV. And so if you buy one for yourself, that's going to be, you have accumulated 34 points. And if you sell two to your customers, that's 34 plus 34 plus 34. You would have accumulated 102 QPV. Okay. Now your QPV is your qualifying PV. Qualifying PV is what the PV that you personally do and the points from your team. Okay, so let's say you do 250 personal points. That's your 250 personal points. And then you have another distributor who does 250 personal points. Your QPV will be 500 because that's your points, 250, plus your team's points, 250, equal 500. Okay, so I hope I've explained that to you. If not, reach out and we can dive a little bit deeper. So the 3 and 30, this is when you sponsor people. And remember, you're going to find customers who buy product directly from you, but then you will sponsor people who become distributors in your team. Distributors in your team join your business not just to use the product, but they join because they have a financial goal. They join because they want to travel. They join because they want financial freedom. They join because they want a safety net after retirement. They join because they want to visit their kids overseas. They join for a reason. And it's very important that we help them make money to achieve those goals and those dreams. But getting back to why I like the 3 and 30 is you increase the probability of finding your next business builder. Because I know that out of 3 people, 2 of them probably will not be very good near-life distributors. They might become an amazing friend. Maybe they will become a great product user and they contribute to QPV, but they won't be good distributors. Out of 3 people, normally you'll find one good one that will duplicate the process. And what I mean by duplicating the process, they will do the 100 points and they will sponsor somebody into the business every single month. Okay, so by finding 3 people, you're increasing your probability of finding your good next distributor. Some months you're going to achieve your 3 and 30. Some months you'll sign up 2 people or 1 person. That's okay. But as long as every single month you sponsor somebody new into your business, you're going to be okay. But ideally, you run for 3. And the third activity that needs to happen every single month is duplication. Duplication. What does duplication mean in our business? It means that people repeat these simple activities month after month. And the people that they get into their business repeat these simple activities month after month. All right, the simple activities of doing 100 points and sponsoring. And this is something that you've all seen probably 100 times by now, but I'm going to show you quickly. What would your business look like in 6 months from now if you had these 3 simple activities happening? 100 points a month, sponsoring, and duplication. Okay, month 1, if you went and did your 3 and 30, and from your 3 and 30, there was one good one, there'd be 2 of you in your business, each doing 100 points. You wouldn't earn anything on the sales volume bonus chart, but you'll earn some retail profit. Month number 2, there's 2 of you in your business. What do you all do? You each go and sponsor 3 people to find one good one. So 2 plus 2 equals 4 people in your business, each doing 100 points. That's 400 points. You've now unlocked that 3% sales volume bonus. And you'll earn yourself about 150 Rand. It's not a lot of money, but you can very quickly add 2 or 3, 1 or 2 zeros to the end of this, or even 3 zeros to the end of this. Month number 3, 4 plus 4 equals 8 people, each doing 100 points. You're now a manager, earning 5%, and you'll earn approximately 500 points, 500 Rand sales volume bonus, and a little bit of retail profit. Month number 4, 8 people in your organization. You each do 100 points, and you each go and find one good one. So you've got 16 people in your organization. You're now a solid senior manager, earning 10% sales volume bonus plus retail profit. That's going to give you an extra 1,500 Rand a month. Hey, we're growing. Month number 5, 16 plus 16 equals 32. You're now a very strong executive manager, earning 20% sales volume bonus. That's going to give you an extra 6,000 Rand a month in sales volume bonus. And month number 6, 32 plus 32 is 64 people in your organization, each doing 100 points. That's 6,400 points. They will earn you conservatively 15,000 Rand a month. And you're earning top of the sales volume bonus chart. And you have just unlocked your next area of income, which is leadership development bonus. And with the leadership development bonus, you can quickly scale this 15,000 Rand to 20, 30, 40, 60,000 Rand and more. Right. So that's the power of this compensation plan. We are more than just a retail business. Now, getting back to our definition of success, a large team of people, a large team. Here you have 64 people, each doing a couple of simple activities, 100 points and sponsoring every month. That is the definition of success. Joanna, you had your hand up again. Do you have a question? No. Okay. So 100 points, sponsoring the duplication. These are the activities that cause people to earn money and take steps in the compensation plan. Joanna, go for it. You got a question? I can see you said yes in the chat box. Feel free to type it in and I'll pick it up as we go along. Okay, so if you haven't taken your first step in the business, then I'll know that we need to look. Are you doing 100 points every month? Are you sponsoring every month? If so, great. But if you're still not taking steps, the people that are coming into your business, are they doing 100 points? Are they duplicating? Are they sponsoring? Right? So the people that come into your business, we never want to see people come into the business and then we move on to the next people and we forget about those that have come into the business. We always want to be getting the new people started right. We want to maximize the opportunity to achieve success in their life. That is very important to us. If people join us because they want to make money, because they're excited about the future, man, we got to help them achieve that goal. Okay. So I'm just going to keep going because this is a training session. It's going to be longer than an opportunity presentation, but it's important stuff. So as a company, we have set you some sponsoring targets at different levels in the business. If you're a distributor, we want to see you do your 3 and 30 and sponsor 3 people. If you're a manager, we want to see you sponsor along with your team 5 people into your business a month. If you're a senior manager, you should be shooting for 10 people a month. Okay, I'm just going to go back to Joanne's question. So it's fine if you accumulate all those points on your own, even when sponsoring other people into the business. Yes, you can accumulate those points on your own, Joanna. That's not a problem. But we want you to be consistent at title every month. So if you do 500 points yourself, let's say you do 1,000 points one month yourself, that might be quite difficult to do month after month on your own because 1,000 points is a lot of product to move on your own. But if you have 10 people in your business, each doing 100 points, that can become a very consistent business for you. And it's easier to qualify a title. And you'll become more consistent. Your income will become more consistent. But yes, you can. You accumulate them on your own. Okay, so here are the sponsoring targets. Of the people that come into your business, we have upgrading targets. What is the upgrading target? It means we want people to take steps. So if you have 10 people coming into your business, we want 50% of them, 5 of them, to step up to manager. We want 2 of them, 20%, to step up to senior manager, at least 1 out of 10 to step to executive manager, and 3% of distributors coming into your business to step to director. Okay, so I've put an example together here where I've assumed that I'm going to say you are a manager sponsoring 5 people into your business. I'm going to show you how you can build a business doing over 40,000 points in the next 12 months, which is probably going to earn you about 50 to 60,000 Rand a month. That's a possibility for you in the next 12 months if you follow these sponsoring targets and upgrading ratios. So if you sponsor 5 people into your team for the next 12 months, by the end of the 12 months, you can have 60 new distributors in your organization. If 50% of them step up to manager, that would give you 30 managers in your team. A manager does 500 points. Okay, 500 points times 30, that will give you 15,000 points every single month. If 20% step up to senior manager, that will give you 12 senior managers in your organization by the end of the year. a senior manager consistently will do 1,000 points a month. That will give you an additional 1,000 times 12 senior managers, 12,000 points a month. 10% will step up to executive managers. That will give you 6 executive managers doing 2,000 points a month. That will add another 12,000 points a month to your business. And 3% of the 60 new distributors will become directors. That will equate to 2 directors. A director does 4,000 points a month. That adds an additional 8,000 points to your business. So 15,000 plus 12 plus 12 plus 8,000 will give you a business doing 47,000 points every single month with 2 director legs. That would give you a significant income. That would put you onto the world team. A business consistently doing that, you would travel for free to our next destination overseas. Man, we've got 800 people going to Egypt in May, and we're just looking at what's going on in the Middle East. So we're praying for the best. But we have an incredible trip planned for May 2027. This would put you on the airplane going to wherever we're going to go to, which I can't tell you, unfortunately. Now, you look at that, you say, well, Drew, that's exciting, but what are the possibilities? Okay, so let's say that, what if you did 50% of this? And your business, so 50%, what's 47 divided by 2? Let's say 23,000. You'd have a Ruby Director size volume if you just did half of what this example shows you. And so why I wasn't going to put this on the screen tonight, but I decided I'm going to, because I want to show you what the possibilities are. If you have people coming into your business and you have people taking steps in the compensation plan, this is what your business could look like in the next 12 months. Let's think big. Okay, so how do you do your 3 and 30? So I'm going to shift the training, the session. I'm going to keep quite quick this part of the presentation, but how do you do your 3 and 30? It's easy to say, Mirel, so I'm picking on you because you got your video on, and I love you. I love having your video on because I can talk to you and it's interactive. How do you do your 3 and 30? How do you do it? There's skills that are developed in the sponsoring process. And there's 3 key skills: prospecting, inviting, and presenting. And the first skill of prospecting starts with your name list and having the ability to meet new people. And if you're new to this business, there's 2 things that you need. Number 1 is your goal. Why are you building this business? And number 2, who are you going to talk to? That is your name list. And so I want to encourage you all to go to your getting started guide that's in your starter kit. And I forget the page number, but there is a name list creator in that getting started guide where you can start working on your name list. And of course, you're going to start with people that you know. We call that your warm market, your friends, your families, your colleagues, your people that you know in your world. But then you need to get good at meeting new people. You're meeting new people in your day-to-day life and meeting new people on social media, however you want to do it. But you need to figure out and I'm going to say the word figure out because as a near-life distributor, you are an entrepreneur. And as an entrepreneur, you're going to have to figure out how to do some of these things. We will always give you training, we'll give you guidance, and we'll give you tips, but you're going to have to figure out how can you make it work for yourself? How can you meet people in your world? Is it going to be on social media, or is it going to be in person, or is it going to be both? But a lesson that I learned from Jerry Brasfield, our founder, who was the first person to be a near-life distributor. We now have tens and tens of thousands of people joining this business every single month. He started out as one person, and he had to talk to people every day. And he had a little practice. He would put, I think, 3 or 5 little pebbles in his right pocket, and he would make it his mission to meet 5 new people every day. And back in those days, he didn't have social media. And he'd take a pebble out of one pocket and put it into the other pocket when he met one. And he wouldn't his day would not end until he had added 5 new people to his name list. He did this for 7 days a week. 5 times 7 is what? 35. 35 people, 4 weeks a month. He never ran out of people to talk to. And that is why Near Life, because of that little practice, that turned into the organization that it is. And so that's just a little snippet on prospecting. But after this call, I'm going to send a video link to the directors, and I'm going to ask you to to send it out to everybody on this call. And if you aren't on this call, I'm going to put my number into the chat box. Noel, if you can put your number and my number, that'll be great. Please just make a note of it. Reach out to us if you don't receive the videos, because I want to make sure that you get the videos. And we have a Launchpad series available for all of our distributors that will teach you in 3 minutes how to create a name list and how to meet new people. We won't watch the whole video.
Sharing and making good recommendations is part of human nature. When we discover a great restaurant, movie, or product.
Okay, so that's the video which I'd like you to watch and study, and that will be a good first start in figuring out how to start your name list and how to meet new people that you can talk to. The second skill is inviting. So you have these people in the name list, you have these people that you're meeting. How are you going to talk to them to invite them to have a look at your opportunity or your product without sounding weird? Right? We never want you to sound weird. We want you to make this process as natural as possible. And there's some skills in talking to people where you can maximize the probability of them saying, yeah, actually, I'd like to listen to what you have to say. It sounds interesting. Tell me more. That's what we call the invite. And in summary, develop the skill to invite people on your name list to take a look at the Near Life business opportunity. And there's a video that will tell you how to do it in 3 minutes, 49 seconds.
Sharing your product and opportunity.
Okay. And then the third skill is to be able to follow up. Okay. Now, let's just take a step back. You have a name list, you're inviting people. What are you inviting them to? You're either inviting them to the Thursday opportunity presentation, or if you're living in Durban, once a month we do at the Westfield Country Club, we do a business presentation in person, or you're inviting them to that presentation. If you live in Johannesburg, once a month we do a presentation at the Apollo. Or you're inviting them to, if there isn't a meeting in your area, then make sure you reach out to your sponsor. And if you don't have a sponsor or an upline, you've got my number, you've got Noel and Rory's number, reach out to us and say, Drew, I've got somebody I want to invite. I'd like to organize a time where you are available for a call, a Zoom call or a WhatsApp call so we can talk to them. We will absolutely make ourselves available. So you've got to invite them to a pre-planned call, whether it's online or physical event. Okay. And then the follow-up, develop the skills to follow up people that you have met and spoken to about your product and your opportunity. And so the fortune is in the follow-up. So often I will talk to someone about the opportunity, maybe over a cup of coffee, and they go, wow, that looks interesting. They might have a few questions. They might have some reservations. They might be a little bit skeptical. That's absolutely okay. I send them off with some information. And then if I don't follow up, I can promise you nothing will happen. So the art of being able to follow up and say, hey, John, I'm just reaching out to you because we had a conversation. I think this is going to be good for you. Are you ready to get started? Do you have any questions that I can answer for you? There's an art to following up with people, not to be pushy, but to get them to a position where they can say, you know what, Rael, you know what, Jabu? No, I'm out. Thanks for sharing it. I'd like to try the product. Or yes, this is exciting. I want to start this Near Life journey. And so following up is a skill that you will need to develop. And stats show us that people join on the 6th to 7th touch point. So you've got to follow up 4, 5, 6, 7 times before they even say yes. I did a meeting in Nairobi about 2 months ago where it was a physical meeting and there was a lady sitting in the front row and she was so excited. And I thought she was a distributor. She was so excited. And I closed off the meeting. I said, so please, get in touch with the person who got you to the meeting. Get your questions answered. If you want to join us, I'd love to meet you and get you started. She jumped up and said, I'm in. I said, great. Who invited you down? It was a lady called Grace. Grace met this lady online 4 months prior. And she didn't dump her product and opportunity. She just made a friend. And they became great friends. Every week, Grace would reach out and she found out her problems. She found out her dreams, her goals, her family life. And eventually Grace said, you know what? You're so good with people. I really would love you to find out more about my business and what I do. can I invite you to be my guest at a presentation that I'm going to be part of tomorrow? And she said, yes. And so she attended that presentation. But she had attended that presentation because Grace had been following up with her every week just to make her friend. And until she got it to the point where she felt she could invite her to a presentation, and she got herself a new distributor who is now probably going to take her director step this month. I know Rory and Nola, Diamond Directors. I think they were introduced to this business 3 or 4 times before they said yes. You know, imagine if the person stopped that followed our process. Rory and Nola would never be where they are today. So the fortune is in the follow. And there's a great video by my good friend Brandon Masondo.
Following up, once you have invited a prospect to look at your product.
And that's another video link I'll send to you. Okay, let's wrap this up. Incentives. If you're new in this business, there's 2 incentives that I want you to know about. There's lots of incentives in our incentive book, but there's only 2 that I'm interested for you right now. The first one is the 3 and 30. Every time you do your 3 and 30, you're building your business and you're getting closer to your next step. You're going to make more money, but we will incentivize you and put a little cherry on the top. You'll earn 18 free PV credits for every 3 and 30 you achieve. Okay, and how did you do 3 and 30? Personally sponsor 3 people in a sales month. All 3 distributors must have a minimum of 100 personal PV in their starting month. And you, their sponsor, must also have a minimum of 100 personal PV in the same month. Okay, now your 18 free PVs, you can use the PV credits to buy products from a pre-selected product range, or you can use your free PV credits to buy exciting Near Life gear. So if you go into your back office, you'll see free PV. You can click on it. You can see the products that are available and the gear that are available. And so you can use these PV credits to buy product, or these caps. We're introducing some new flaws. We're bringing some very cool gear items onto the free PV thing. And you get recognized. Every time you do a 3 and 30, you'll be recognized on a monthly recognition platform. Okay. Great. Nola's taking notes of the numbers. I know she is, because she's thorough like that. Okay, the second incentive that I'm interested in you knowing about is the fast start step-up bonus. Okay, now in your first 6 months in this business, so you have a window period for your first 6 months, is we want you to take your manager step. Okay, and if you take your manager step, plus you sponsor 1 new distributor with 100 points in your first 6 months, you're obviously going to get your sales volume bonus, you're going to get your retail profit. But we will also pay you a little cherry on the top. Okay, now these incentives aren't designed to make you wealthy. They're just designed to recognize you for being on track. And these incentives are just to say, yes, you are on the right track. You know, if you follow the incentives and you achieve the incentives, that just means that your business is going in the right direction. And we'll pay you an extra 180 Rand on top of what you earned. Not a lot of money, but I think it's more the fact that you have taken that step and achieved the mission. If you step up to senior manager in the first 6 months, okay, and you sponsor 2 more new distributors with 100 PV, okay, so now you've taken your manager step and your senior manager step, and in total, you sponsored 3 new distributors, you get paid an extra 360 Rand on top of your bonus. And if you take your executive manager step in your first 6 months and sponsor 2 more distributors with 100 PV, okay, so now you sponsored a total of 5, 2 plus 2 plus 1. So you sponsored a total of 5 new distributors in the 6 months, and you've taken your 3 steps, you earn an additional 680 Rand on top of your bonus. You can take all of these steps in the same month. It doesn't really matter. And the sponsoring and the step up doesn't have to happen the same month. You might sponsor a person with 100 points this month and only take your manager step next month. That's okay. You'll still get paid the bonus. So if you achieve all 3 steps within your first 6 months, you'll earn all 3 bonuses, and that will earn you an extra 1,220 Rand on top of your earnings. Plus, I know Rory and Nola have a team incentive. I'm not sure what the total amounts are. Nola, you can put it in the chat box if you want. But you can earn some seriously good money by taking the steps. So if you're in your first 6 month window, I want you to dial in on this 3 and 30 in the fast start step up incentives and run for it. Run for it like crazy and achieve it. If you are not in your first 6 months, If you're out of your 6-month window period, that's okay, because you're going to be sponsoring new people into your team and they need to know about these incentives. So work these incentives down the line. All right. Lastly, the activity, daily, weekly, and monthly activity that you need to be doing. Daily, you need to be adding people to your name list. That's your marketing funnel. Every business needs to have a marketing funnel. And if you're not adding people to your marketing funnel every single day, you're going to run out of business. Every single day, you need to follow up with people that you met last week and people that you presented to last week. You've got to follow up with the people that you've already spoken to. Following up is simply progressing people on your name list to the point where you can invite them to a one-on-one presentation or a Zoom meeting or weekly presentation. Following up is progressing people that you've already presented to and getting them to the point of saying, yes, I'm in, or no, it's not for me. And either way, it's okay. Either answer is fine. Just get them to a point of making a decision. Weekly activity, presenting the opportunity multiple times. Okay. At the end of the week, you can ask yourself, how many times have I shown this opportunity to somebody? And if you're new, you might not be able to present the business. That's okay. Use your sponsor, use your upline leaders, use Rory, use Nola, use Antoinette, use Viv, use Jabal, use Samka, whoever your upline is, use them on a call or physically if they live near you to present multiple times a week. And every week, make sure you have your presentations lined up for the coming week. Weekly, you've got to be getting your distributor started, because every week you're presenting, you're going to get a distributor started every week. Make sure that you are, if they sign up, as soon as they get the kit, you sit down with them and you do a getting started training where they can do 100 points. They can define their goal. They can start using the product. They can make a few calls, sell some product. They can figure out what the next step is, and they can create a name list. Weekly, you've got to be following up with your business builders. Once you start building a team, you don't want to be calling them at the end of the month saying, where's your 100 points? That's not a nice way to do business. Every week, you've got to be saying, okay, how close are you to your goal? Okay, your goal is 1,000 points. Week 1, you've done 250 points. Okay, you're on track. How are you going to get another 250 points in the next over the next week? Who are you talking to? Who have you followed up from last week? So always be following up with your business builders, tracking their monthly and their weekly activity. And then monthly, planning and selling your next events. Your team and your leaders will have events weekly and monthly, and the company will have events. As the leader of your own business, it's very important that you never miss one of these events. If